Hello, everybody. Welcome to Pubtalk. Hate to break up the conversation. A little hot on the mic there. I'll try. A couple, yeah. Welcome to Pubtalk, everybody, and a Happy New Year to you. I'm Eric Strobel. I'm standing in for Julie Harrelson, who hasn't been seen since New Year's Eve. So she was last seen with a champagne glass running around in a circle in one of the Sun River circles, like a track kind of, and we haven't seen her since. So let's hope she's coming back, in February. So, but I'm standing in for her, and welcome back to winter as well. Yes, right? A little bit of winter is good. Come on. Jeez. It's Bend. It's winter. Who's new to Pubtalk tonight? Wow. All right. Well, thank you for being here. And it's definitely a good new year in Bend. I don't know if you heard, but Bend was picked as the best civilization ever in recorded history. Civilization magazine. I think you're going to put a press release out next week. Yeah, tomorrow. So look for that. 6,000 years, and we're the best ever. So be happy you're here. Yep. Okay, sponsors. Want to thank our sponsors, Columbia Bank, Carnot Peterson, Velic Systems, and the University of Oregon. Supporting sponsors, COCC's Small Business Development Center. And I'm going to read a little bit about them. They are honored to be a supporter of Pubtalk, providing strategic business advising, research tools, and education to help get your business to the next level. In 2017, the SBDC worked with 335 businesses, accounting for $1.4 million in invested capital and over $6 million in increased sales. They also saw 20 new business starts through the center, and their advisors are available to assist you with any business questions or challenges. Please look them up if you're thinking of starting a business, you've got a friend starting a business, which is probably true. So make sure they talk to the SBDC. Then we have the Central Oregon Association of Realtors, CORE. They're looking for the best building and rejuvenation projects over the past year for building a better Central Oregon. So if you've got any ideas on that, visit their website and let them know. And then we have Sga Cpas. Since 1989, Sga has been a full-service accounting firm in Bend. Is pleased to announce its virtual financial officer. It's a full-service, all-inclusive, cloud-based accounting service for businesses. The VFO program is designed to take care of the day-to-day accounting needs of a business and letting the business owners do what they need to do to run a successful business. Give SGA a call or send them an email to find out more. You want to talk to Amber Yates there, okay? She can set you up. And returning to the 2018 supporting sponsor lineup is Bend Broadband. The sales team offers services from cable-based voice and data services up to dedicated fiber, and hosted IP phone systems. And they look forward to helping you solve your unique business needs. Okay, enough of my reading. You're welcome. Title sponsors. First up, we're going to have Mr. Kurt Barker from Carnot Peterson.
This feels really weird, you guys. That's the first time Eric has ever introduced me without doing some kind of a roast. I feel a little bit, I feel a little off-put by that, but that's okay. Thank you for having me. Kurt Barker, I share the co-chairing our ETIP practice group, Emerging Business, Technology, Intellectual Property, with John Napier, who's not here tonight, but we have some other cool people I'll do a quick introduction to. The last time I was here, remember we did a quick role play with Julie on the Equal Pay Act? I wasn't going to do any legal update, but I have to just give you one more nugget, because I just had a conversation, it's all your fault, Vanessa, that inspired me to do this. One of the things that's really a game changer about that law, in case you missed it, I didn't say this last time, it gives business the incentive to do a little self-audit. Like, just for example, hypothetically, say you're a partner in a law firm. What do women lawyers make? What do male lawyers make? Giving you a safe harbor against some damages if you do that kind of audit and make corrections, that's huge. That's a game changer. I think that it'll be one of the key changes from that new law. I think we're going to see some change from it. Change, hopefully, in terms of pay equity. But okay, enough of that. I want to talk about cool people and booze and then be done. Excuse me, I meant to say giveaway booze. Did that not get any applause tonight? That's really, thank God. Tough. I was thinking tough crowd tonight. But so we've got a couple of our folks here that you haven't got a chance to meet before. Sam Martin, our accounting manager back there. She is not here for collections purposes, so go ahead and say hi. Just she'll buy you a drink. No. Also, Tyler Moore. I want to talk a little bit just about Tyler. We are so excited. One of our newer to us business lawyers, but Tyler's kind of one of my favorite kinds of lawyer hires that we get. He cut his teeth, about 10 years of experience at bigger firms in Seattle, moved down here and has joined our firm to help businesses make more money, grow their businesses, work on their securities offerings, work on contracts. He's a great addition to the firm. Please go try and meet Tyler back there. Ask him about his family or skiing. But if you were savvy and looking up his resume that might just be available online at carnop.com, our clients, Brad and Kathy Irwin at Oregon Spirit Distillers, we've got a bottle of bourbon from them. So I don't know how fast your Google fingers are working, but the question is, I'd like to give this away to, we're going to pick on Tyler a little bit. What award did Tyler win from 2014 to 2017, and who has the best Google fingers in the room? 20 seconds. I have to wrap this up in 20 seconds. Man of the Year? No. Best costume? No. Wow, that might have been too hard of a trivia question. Rising Star. I heard it. Rising Star by Washington Super Lawyers. Gave 3-4 years in a row, Tyler. Washington Super Lawyers identified him as one of the rising stars in the state. Thank you.
Okay, Kurt, so now get back to Talina, the real worker in the family. Okay. I don't think he heard it, which is good. Okay, now I'm going to introduce Harrison Womack from Velix Systems. Welcome, Harrison.
All right. Well, I don't have any jokes or alcohol, so I'll try to keep this brief. First of all, thank you all for coming. We are really excited to be a part of what Edco is doing. Great organization. And also, if you guys haven't worked with the Central Oregon Community College with Steve Curley with the small business program, go talk to him. He's a great guy and can give you some really great feedback. So I want to just talk briefly about something that happens to businesses. We were given an article the other day of a company that was recently infected with ransomware. And this is a Central Oregon company. So I just want to kind of give you guys a little bit of a heads up. What is ransomware and what you guys can do with small businesses? Because every business is liable to this stuff. Just some fun facts about ransomware. There were $5 billion in damages from ransomware last year, and that's up from $325 million. So that's a huge escalation in ransomware, which if you don't know what ransomware is, it's a virus that gets in and locks you out of your own system unless you pay money, typically in Bitcoin, to get your data back. So anyway, every 40 seconds, a business is attacked with ransomware. And now 60% of viruses that you guys that are out there are ransomware. So this is the go-to malware that people are using. So, and then there's even sites that are set up as ransomware as a service. So if you don't know anything about coding, you can just log on and be like, hey, I'd like to buy your ransomware, and I'll send it to my own email list. So that's on the black web. So anyway, this article, it was about a law firm that was hit. And just kind of to quickly summarize, it ended up costing the small firm $14,000 in damages. And they paid the ransom. So they ended up funding these bad people. Plus, they took this huge hit to their business. So anyway, there's some good things. If you're like, hey, what do I do if I get a data breach? Google that, and you could be prepared. We did bring a little bit of a one sheet. So if you guys, some of these are on your table. If you have this, it's just a little like cheat sheet of what to do in your business to protect yourself from ransomware, and mostly it has to do with backups. So read that and stay safe out there.
All right.
Cheers.
Thanks, Harrison. Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, great story. I mean, when I was at Edco a long time ago, Velox was our support, our IT support, one-man show, and it's turned into just a great company, and they're sponsoring Pubtalk now, so it's a cool story. Thanks, Harrison. I'd like to introduce Paul Allen from University of Oregon. There he is. Guy with the jacket on.
Oh, thank you. So how many of you were disappointed to find out that I was the Paul Allen that you were going to be meeting? That's my life now. And I recently just moved to Portland, actually, and everyone was like, oh my gosh, Paul Allen, Paul Allen, Paul Allen. And, but the great news is everyone responds to my emails when I send out messages. So I'm actually taking over the University of Oregon spot tonight, and I'm with the Oregon Executive MBA in Portland. And what's great about that is that after working with traditional full-time MBA students, or like 25, 26, well, that's great and all, our MBA program is a way different kind of thing. It's actually meant to serve mid to senior level executives, so if you're managing people or you're managing budgets and you really just want to be around people like you, our executive MBA program meets twice a month in Portland, and we're looking to build a Bend-based team, a team that wants to work together throughout the program, work on capstones, and come up to Portland a couple of times per month. So if you're interested in learning more, and you'd like to know kind of what an executive MBA, is really all about, we're actually going to hold kind of full-blown information session with some of our alumni here in Bend, and that's going to be February 13th at the Oxford. And I've got some stuff that you can take. I wasn't as savvy, I guess, to put it on the table beforehand. But if you're interested in, I'm in this place in my career, I've been working for 15 years, and I really kind of want to take myself to the next level, our program is meant to really meet you where you're at, help you with that strategic leadership, and build on those skills, get you around peers who are doing the same kinds of things, but all over the place, from Alaska to the Bay Area to the Texas to Portland, Bend, Eugene, and build that network. So that's what we've got to say. So come and get some information from me if you're interested in learning more, and then maybe you can attend our info session on February 13th. Thanks so much.
My daughter's tuition dollars going to good things. I like it. Thanks, Paul. Maybe a beard would help the first impression, too, I think you're Paul Allen quickly. Yep. Okay, now from Columbia Bank, we've got Taylor Thompson and Spencer Morgan doing a duet.
Yes. Still get a better applause than Corey does. That's awesome. Yeah, hey, I'm Taylor Thompson, the boring banker. I'm here to introduce Spencer, the tragically also boring banker. So we're here to bore you for the next 2 minutes. Thank you for having us, and happy 2018.
Timer set. So Taylor and I were talking about this a lot lately. It's taking a lot longer for us to get to work in the morning. So we're kind of thinking about that, and obviously there's a lot of people moving here from Bend. So we came up with the top things you need to know after moving to Bend. Number 5, Patagonia, jeans, and snapback hats. They are considered formal wear.
Absolutely. Number 4, learn how to pronounce names of area towns and destinations, please. It's Tumalo, Terrebonne, and Paulina. Okay, not Tumalo, not Terrebonne, and Paulina.
That's a great one. Actually, should probably be higher than the 4. But number 3, potholes are a way of life. Either buy a bigger vehicle or learn to deal with it.
We're living that one. Use roundabouts like slingshots. Go into it slow, speed up, and be sure you signal as you leave, and it is okay to drift.
That was originally our number one. However, this one is number one. Never, ever say these 3 phases after you move to Bend. I can't stand dogs. I don't even really like IPAs. And the last one, well, when I lived in California. So speaking of moving here, Taylor, let's talk about these little yellow-bellied marmots.
Oh, yeah. Hawk jocks.
Right. Did you know that they're the largest squirrel in Oregon?
You've got to be kidding me.
And they can be found right here in Bend.
Oh, my gosh. So I guess this leads into our trivia question. You guys ready for some trivia? Ready to win some stuff? Well, unlike our past, bankers do give away things. So we brought a fine glass, or actually bottle of wine. So
it's a glass because I'm going to drink the rest of it.
You're on a diet, buddy. So we have our newest right here, Trevor. Trevor's going to be pointing out who gets the right answer. So hey, let's get going on this. We've got made our 2 minutes. So anyway, of those rock chucks, what month do they typically go into hibernation, and what month do they come out? Hurry! Come on, Trevor. Hurry! That was the closest.
Now, let's go. Think summertime.
Starts with a...
July's one? Who said that? We need the same person to say the second one.
She's the closest right here.
Okay,
She's
got
the
it.
closest.
It's actually July and February. So we're going to start seeing. So those who don't know that, they're little creatures that are in the little mills. They're great. So
Thanks a lot, guys.
real quick, all seriousness. Just to let you know, we are from Columbia Bank, commercial banking team, and we're not your typical bankers, really. So we just, Columbia Bank went from 30th of the top 100 to number 11 in the Forbes. So check that out. Come talk with us if you have any questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Fascinating. I was thinking. I actually heard somebody say Descahutes for the Deschutes. And they were from Texas. So I think they have a river down there that's called that. So, all right. So now to point out the awesome Edco staff. Great people. They do incredible work. Most of them, like Brian Vieira. Is he in here? No? Okay. Aaron Chayette, COO. Sorry, Brian is the venture catalyst, and Aaron Chayette is the COO. We have Kip Barrett, who's the Bend area director. And we have Aaron Riley, director of events, like this. We have Elise Rossman, director of marketing and communications, right here. Also the time diva, right? And then we get to the German part of the staff. And we have Heidi Hausner, wherever she is, and director of membership. And then we have Oscar Wiegand, who is the Edco intern. And then back to a normal name, Ryan Culp is the Sun River Lapine manager. And then we have Mr. Wonderful. I miss him. I loved working for this man. He was awesome. He's top 3 bosses ever, and probably the top. So, welcome, Roger Lee.
Thanks, Eric. I definitely owe you a beer for that one. So, Brian says, 1 minute. We got too much on the agenda tonight. So some of you may have caught the recent announcement from the Milken Institute about the #1 ranking again. A #1 performing economy among 205 small metros across the U.S. This is an annual survey that compares city to city on both 1 year and 5 year kind of growth trends. And they include high technology employment, GDP growth, industry development in the high-tech sector, as well as overall job growth, wages, and some other measures. So the Ben Redmond MSA actually bested its #1 showing last year, improving on 6 of 9 of these vis-a-vis our peers. So a little bit of news for you if you hadn't seen that. In other recent news, according to the Oregon Secretary of State, entrepreneurs in Bend registered more new businesses per capita than any city in Oregon, forming one new business for every 28 residents. That's pretty phenomenal. I guess maybe it's because economic development is not creating enough jobs here. I don't know. The statewide average was more than 65 per capita, and in Portland, over 84. So we were almost 3 times the rate of Portland on entrepreneurship. Interestingly, despite the fact that our total population is about half that of either Salem or Eugene, we had roughly the equal number of new business registrations at 3,261 in 2017. So no wonder Pubtalk's always busting at the seams like it is tonight. So I want to do a shout out to the team at Dana Signs, which was recently named the Redmond Chamber of Commerce 2017 Business of the Year. So I don't know where those folks are in the audience here. The company's been a great partner of Edco over the years, always willing to help with the banner or signage needs. So we're pleased to see their work and strong business ethic recognized. So Eric already talked about Oscar. Oscar Weiland is our awesome intern nearly over the past year, and he's almost an OSU graduate. He's awaiting an offer letter from a new tech company coming to the region, so this may well be his last Pubtalk, under our employment at least, and so tell him congratulations when you see him. I just wanted to give Oscar a quick shout out about his great contributions over that time, including BBC, which he filled the role of 2 interns in the past and did a masterful job at it. He will definitely be missed. And for those of you thinking of having an intern, there's a lot of work and a lot more effort than you get out of it. Think again. Just ask anyone on our team about the interns that we've had over the years. They do awesome work and need very little supervision, super great self-starters, and they do it a lot faster than actually us old people can do it. So if you're interested in maybe taking on an intern, track down David Haynes. David, are you? There he is, right there. Track down David. He's with the Bend Chamber, and he's linking students and businesses right here in Bend. If you're from other part of the region, just talk to me, and I'll get you connected to the right person. And last but not least, in addition to there never being a better time to launch your business in Central Oregon, as some of the stats say, there's never been a better time to find employment. Technology Association of Oregon recently surveyed tech companies in the Tri-County area and found that they are trying to fill over 400 positions in the next year. So pretty phenomenal growth in our tech sector. Similarly, Edco has kind of done our own little informal survey, and we have more than 600 openings just in the manufacturing sector. So pretty remarkable job growth today, and I think we're optimistic we can get those filled with some housing shortages kind of maybe being shored up a bit and seeing some softening in the rental market, which we've actually saw an article this week that even the Seattle area is starting to see some leveling off of their rates, and we're seeing that a bit here in Bend, at least at the moment. It says January. So with that, I think my time has passed. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Roger. Quick shout out to the Rambler Room. They're eating and talking over there, so pay attention, please, a little bit. Now we're sending out a huge thank you to our newest members. The support is helping underwrite a variety of programs at Edco, so we thank you for that. And these are the new members: Executive Financial Governance Solutions, Jarrett Electric, Ryan McClone of Cascades Sotheby's, Novanex, Joanna Malachinsky, love that name, Douglas Haga, Live Life Bigger, Killian Pacific, Summary Content Marketing, Eclipse Engineering, Velocity Talent, Spectrum Building and Restoration, Actian Now Consulting Services, Columbia Construction Management, Patrice Commels, Vision 28, Maps Made Easy, Payne West Insurance, thank you, Travis, and Hallmark Inns and Resorts. Wow, that is great. Heidi has been very busy, as we've seen, so that's awesome. Thank you for supporting Edco. Okay, now to the companies, right? Here we go, finally. So I'd like to introduce Dwight Johnson, founder and owner of the Bend Soap Company, to provide a company update about their new branding and growth since he was here the last time. So Dwight, is Dwight around? He's probably getting harangued with questions. Oh, that's all right. See, the Rambler Room will do that to you. Don't go in there. Can you get through? Yeah, someone will let you through. All right, welcome, Dwight.
So it's actually Dwight and my COO, Travis Tuttle. I've been demoted to chief goat milker. We did this, I think in 2015, we did a pitch to you guys, and Brian was nice enough to ask us back to do an update on what we're doing. Quick story. My son, Chance, got eczema when he was 3, and that's how Bend Soap Company started. It didn't start because I was a brilliant businessman or we sat around and had a think tank on how to do this. It was he had eczema, we were desperate parents, and we started researching, and we found that most soaps and skincare products have 15 to 20 chemicals, and they're really harsh on the skin, and they were drying him out. And so we decided to make our own, mainly because we couldn't find anything that was truly natural. There's a lot of things that are labeled natural, but then you flip it around, look at the ingredient, you go, when did that become natural? You know, this is hazmat. This shouldn't be anywhere near children, let alone in the tub soaking with them. So we started researching. That's why our soap only has 4 ingredients. It has olive oil, coconut, red palm, and goat milk. And then we also have essential oils for some of them. That being said, we started making the soap. We started selling at craft shows, and we did about $80,000 our first year, which we thought was pretty good. I thought I'd hit the jackpot. I'm like, hey, we're selling soap. We since then grew about 50% a year, every year, which was pretty good growth, and we've cut back on the craft shows and kind of learned that there's a thing called the internet, and it works a lot better, and so we started pushing more soap that direction. 2015 was when I did my first Pubtalk, and we were hoping to hit $300,000 in revenue that year. We came close, but we missed it. We hit 287, and we continued to grow at 50%. Then this last year, 2017, we just wrapped up, and we did almost 200% growth. So things are starting to take off. I guess a lot of people like having healthy skin, and they're kind of sick of the chemical companies pretending like they're helping them clean their skin when they're really exposing them to a lot of harmful toxins. And as the demand grows, well, we'll talk about that in a minute, but we just realized that we did, just short of 1.3 million, which isn't bad for a couple goats. And he's going to talk about that.
Yeah, so just a few statistics from this past year. 31,400 sales. As he said, a little over $1 million in revenue. Last January, our average daily sales were about 44 sales a day. This January to date is over 130. So exciting, fun growth. That doesn't include our Amazon channel, which we added this past year. It doesn't include our wholesale figures. So lots of exciting things going on. And because of all the growth, we had hit capacity limits. So in the first quarter of this year, we are going to be moving into a new facility, and we will be going from 1 product making station to 4 product making stations, new equipment that will allow us to make even more soap per batch, as well more product stations for all of our other products. We have added goat milk lotion, sugar scrubs, lip butters, various all-natural skincare products to round out our product line. And so with the new space, we'll be able to vastly improve and expand our production. Based on that, in Q2, we'll be able to turn up our marketing dollars. We've actually been pulling back because we couldn't keep up. We were running into capacity limits. But now that we actually have the ability to produce, we'll be turning up marketing this year. So our very conservative goal, considering we grew 200% last year when we weren't turning up the gas, our very conservative goal this year is to hit 200% growth or more over the course of the year.
Yeah. And so that brings us to our ask. I'm a goat milker, so I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah. We are. If you have any goats, I am buying more. We seem to be running low on milk. But continuing to build the foundation and infrastructure is one of our biggest demands because it takes space. All of our soap cures for at least 6 weeks before we sell it, so space is kind of a big thing for us. And then also finding the right people on the team. We're finding more and more people in Bend. They want to be part of a startup. They're excited to be part of something that's growing. And so we're attracting some really fun talent, but we need more people. We need people with energy and that can catch our vision. We also want to build relationships with other business owners in Bend who have been down this road ahead of us and know some of the curveballs that are coming towards us, because as we continue to grow, we're completely humbled by all the fun obstacles that we're running into and the growth potential if we can get out of the way. That's why I brought him. He's smarter than I am. And then just help with the team members. We really, to me, our number one asset is our team, because they bring what we need to take Bend Soap to the next level and to be able to get natural product into every home in America, which I'm kind of a big fan of natural. If you haven't picked that up, come out to the farm sometime, I'll tell you all about it. But it's all about getting the right product in these people's houses. I know, 5 minutes? Oh, are you saying 0? Okay, I'm done.
On your way out, we've got samples in several places around, so make sure and stop by and grab a sample and take it with you.
Yes, well, the Rambler Room's not listening.
Yeah. They just said in the Rambler Room, y'all need to be quiet and listen.
Okay, a couple of questions.
We actually raise our own hay. So we put up the hay, we raise the hay, and then we also give them some treats when they come in for milking, which they don't need it. They love to come in and get relieved.
Where are you located to farm?
In Tumalo. So if you go out, the distillery, you go out Pinehurst a little further, and we're on the right-hand side.
One more.
What's the most fun part?
What is the most fun part? It used to be milking the goats, but I think I'm kind of over that now. Honestly, it's the testimonials. When I read the emails from customers who are telling us what our soap has done, I sit there and I can't claim any of that stuff. I get shut down by the USDA, but they're sitting there going, my life is so much better, and it empowers us to just keep on getting up and going at it. So that's probably the biggest.
Cool. Okay, quick. Yep, real quick.
And do you teach us how to sell on Amazon?
Yeah, I actually hired someone smarter than me to do that also.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Impressive, thank you. That's awesome. So I met Ashley and this next company at the Fall Festival at the Made in Bend section. I don't know if you guys have seen that before. So get out of the beer garden, right, and wander a little bit. And they were right next to TriPilot, and who else was there? Laird Superfood was there, and so it's really cool. It's fun to go talk to the owners, and it's a relaxed environment and everything, and get to see what they're doing. So I'd like to introduce Ashley Chase. She's the founder of Birdseed Craft Granola. I think you've got some on your tables. Like many entrepreneurs that take the Pubtalk stage, she set out to fix a problem and ended up building a company. So come on up, Ashley.
Well, thank you. Hello, everyone. This is my first time doing something like this, so the only time I'm typically behind a microphone is at karaoke, which I will be doing later tonight. So after party is at Corey's. And I will be singing and a lot more comfortable with myself. But anyway, my name is Ashley Chase, and I am the founder of Birdseed Food Co. And I'm gonna jump right into my story because it's actually a pretty good story. And I'm gonna start that out with a question, and that is, what does it mean to be healthy? Having some technical difficulties with my little slides. Excited for Bend Soap Company. I met the founder, I forget his name, over at some women's race, and he told me his full story, and I'm stoked about him. Anyway, I got my slides to work again. And the question is, what does it mean to be healthy? Does it mean you're big in some parts and small in others? That you can do a certain yoga pose or ski down a black diamond slope? That you don't eat Taco Bell? What I came to find is that healthy is actually a very relative word. 6 years ago, I seemed to think that I was pretty healthy. I was a Zumba instructor. I hiked 76 miles on the PCT. I was a terrible runner. I couldn't make it past 4 miles, but I was decently healthy. To my surprise, I found out that I was actually very sick, half alive, in fact. These pints of beer you're drinking, most people have 12 to 14 pints of blood circulating through their bodies at all times. I had less than 6. So all of my organs were working twice as hard, and I was living at half of both my mental and physical potential. But I had no idea. I didn't know life any differently than being lethargic, foggy-headed, and exhausted all of the time. 2 years and 2 blood transfusions later, while being prohibited from raising my heart rate due to risk of heart attack, no fun whatsoever, my hematologist and doctor finally figured out what was wrong with me, and it was actually one ingredient in my diet. And to keep the intrigue and attention, I'll tell that to you later, what that ingredient is. And so anyway, I eliminated this one ingredient in my diet, and all of my blood levels went back up to normal. And in turn, I became a superhuman. I went on my first run of being a normal blood level person. I felt like I was on Baywatch. But truly what I became was the truest version of myself. I had clarity of mind, and I had vitality. I knew that I needed to share my story of unknown sickness to true health, because how many people are out there living half alive without even knowing it? Running 4 miles at 12 minutes per mile when they could be running marathons in less than 5 hours. I did that this year. Complacently working for big corporations when they could be starting their own companies. So yes, I know, how does this relate to granola? I realized that a microphone to share a story, or a great microphone to share a story, is a product. So the granola thing happened on a whim. I didn't do extensive research on the granola market. I thought it was just going to be a local fun hobby. But then I had the pleasure of visiting a granola co-packing facility over in Eugene, and they do 80,000 pounds of granola per month. And after seeing that facility, I was like, oh, I could do this. So I officially started my granola company in March 3rd of 2017, so I'm not even a year old yet, and I've had quite a bit of momentum since then. A few of the exciting things: my online Shopify store is at the top 20 percentile of all Shopify stores started on the same date as mine. My granola is served as guest amenities at what the New York Times states to be the sexiest hotel in America, and that's in Palm Springs. I've been selected to represent Oregon along with a few other food companies at the largest U.S. Natural Food Expo in Anaheim, California. And just this week, I got an order placed by a food subscription box company based in New York for 500 bags to go to 500 different people. So that will be awesome. Anyway, this is just a few of the exciting things that have motivated me to continue my relentless hard work, because I've been working my ass off. True story. Anyway, so here's my plan of action. Birdseed, the name of my company is Birdseed Craft Granola, and my branding provokes a lot of remarks. So I'm confused. I've heard all of you guys like, is this actually birdseed? What is this? But that's the point. It makes you ask the question of like, oh, what is this? And it draws you in with the minimal, fresh, modern packaging. So, and that intentionally falls in line with Seth Godin's idea of the purple cow, which you're not gonna look at a black and white cow twice, but a purple cow, now that's remarkable. And if you're saying remarks about my bags of granola, then I'm into it. Anyway, my online presence and following, I am going to focus my online presence, or focus my marketing towards my online following, so that I'm the one being pursued by grocery stores, and then I'm ensured to stay on their shelves once I'm in them. So I don't want to go after them, I'll let them come to me. Anyway, on top of that, not only does direct-to-consumer sales up your margins by at least 30%, it actually connects you with your customer, and I truly love putting together my little boxes with my bio card and little handwritten thank yous that feel really like connected to the person that's buying the product. And moving on, when I do a demo, I connect with 25 to 100 people, and when an Instagram foodie with 60 or 600,000 followers, this has happened, 600,000 followers features my product on their page, I do about $800 in sales within a few hours. So online social media marketing is the way of the future, and major companies are paying rates such as $2,000 per feature post, and soon they're going to be paying me to feature their products on my page because I'm curating it to be visually pleasing as well as good content and health tips and all that fun jazz. Anyway, 31% of consumers are buying groceries online, with sales at $14.2 billion in 2017, and that's expected to double by 2021. So online sales, even in groceries, are going up and up and up. And I would like to, or craft products and specialty foods are also the way of the future. 60% of millennials are purchasing natural, non-processed foods as they pride themselves in eating ethically and consciously. In 2017, major distributors upped their specialty food product selection by 70%. So everybody's like gearing towards the specialty foods. People are caring about what they eat. And craft products are expensive, but humans are irrational beings, and they tend to lead with their hearts. And to my benefit, if they feel good about their purchase, they'll make it. So 5 years ago, did you expect that you would be paying $5.25 for your small latte? Probably not. Anyway, current happenings and future goals. Currently, I'm selling about 500 bags per month, and now that doubled this month with this 500 bag order. So I plan to triple that on a constant basis within 3 months, and I'm launching my online subscription at the end of this month, which I have a lot of repeat customers already, and so it'll just make it more convenient for them and more convenient for me if it's just happening on the regular every month. I'm visualizing and planning Birdseed Food Co. to go nationwide within 3 years. And I'd like to maintain my craft products by building my own manufacturing facility right here in Bend, providing jobs, and also making Bend known for not merely craft beer, but also craft health foods. And another thing that I'm passionate about and want to grow to be able to do is donate 3% of all of my profits to outdoor after-school programs for underprivileged children. I was a program coordinator for Snowboard Outreach Society over in Portland, and it's crazy that it's not here, and I want to change that, and I would love to be able to give money towards our future and our kids because yes, they are important. Anyway, in summary of what I'm trying to do here, my mission is to provide healthy foods that make people question their state of health and ensure their state of vitality. And now I'll tell you the vampire ingredient that was sucking all of my blood. It was gluten, and it's actually not that easy to be a truly gluten-free person because it's such a fad and it's like a marketing scheme. So shout out to McMinimans for having a gluten-free fryer so that I can eat their tater tots. Pretty happy about that. Thank you. Yes, yes. Anyway, so provide healthy products that make you question your state of health, because what if you are sick, living half a life like I was? Anyway. With future investments, I plan to first of all get my bags printed, because each one of these bags I am placing every sticker on them and hand stamping them. It's a little labor intensive, but it's my time to watch TV. So wrapping up, thank you everyone for your attention, and I'm so happy to be here, and I think my time's up. So, Eric. Yeah, sure.
Just for
sure.
the gambler room.
Yep.
Okay, questions? Oh.
Yes, my dear Erin, what would you like to ask? Resources, people. So I've had so much encouragement from the Central Oregon Food Cluster, and also Jen Moore with Gem Nut Butters. Andy Hinnigan, he went over my margins with me, which they are on point, which I'm stoked about because I wasn't exactly sure. So I've just had so much encouragement from the people in Bend, Oregon, so that's been very helpful. Yes, back there. I recognize you. You are a startup person too. I've done everything myself. What event? Natural. No, actually, I decided to turn it down because I want to focus on online sales. Yeah. So I said, nah, it's okay. Oh, sorry about that. I got to repeat the question. I forgot. Yeah. Come at me, folks. I'm ready. What's up? It is lightly sweetened, true, okay, sorry. She said, what makes my product different than all the other granolas on the market? And that is like if trail mix and granola had a baby and got rid of all the sugar. So, kicked out the sugar, brought in more nuts, more seeds, more goodness, made with love and kindness. Oh, wait, one more question, maybe? Hi. Yes.
All right, we'll end.
Hell yeah. Thank you, everyone.
Great job, Ashley. And you did a great job pointing to the right direction when you said something, somewhere, right? So many times you talk to people and they go, oh yeah, Portland. You know, they're pointing to Southern California, right? I hate that, all right? So you guys watch that. Correct people, right? Directions are key. They're very important. Okay. All right, now to our next company. Our next three founders met at OSU-Cascades in a computer science entrepreneurship class and built an app to keep teens safe behind the wheel, whether they like it or not. Please welcome to the stage Proud Beavers, Aaron Baker, Michaela Lundy, and Brian Hoffman to hear about their newly built DriveSafe for Teens app.
Thank you. So good evening, everybody. I'm Brian Hoffman, senior at OSU Cascades studying computer science. And I know you're probably wondering, is that guy really old enough to be in college? And yes, I can assure you that I am. So prior to attending OSU, I worked at Advanced Energy here in Bend. Formerly, we were PV powered. I was an engineering manager there, led commercial inverter development. So with me is Michaela Lundy. She works part-time at Pixel and Tonic as a software developer, and this is Aaron Baker, and he works part-time at Paladin Data Corporation as a software developer. So the three of us came up with DriveSafe during a class led by Dr. Mark Rubin. A little shout out. This was a web startup class that we were in, and the goal of the class was to come up with business ideas, brainstorm a bunch of business ideas, go through them, select the best ones, come up with business models for them, and in the end, produce a minimum viable product. And so that's what we did. So our team came up with one called DriveSafe, and we're going to share that solution with you today. So how many of you have been going down the road, looked over, and you see somebody playing on their phone, right? I know I have. I'm cruising on the parkway, and I see somebody Snapchatting or playing Candy Crush or whatever, and they're not even paying attention, right? So, you know, we're all guilty of that probably from time to time. I won't point any fingers or anything, but but it's dangerous. We know that, even if we do it sometimes, right? And according to the Center for Disease Control, 9 Americans die each day, and more than 1,000 are injured. So, I mean, that's pretty staggering. And the National Highway Traffic Administration said that 3,477 people were killed in 2015 from distracted driving. So, I mean, these numbers are pretty frightening. And I have 2 teenage daughters that just started driving, and thinking about them being out on the road with that kind of stuff going on, it's pretty frightening. So, with that, we wanted to come up with a solution that would eliminate or substantially eliminate the chance of somebody being able to play on their phone while they're driving. So that brings us to DriveSafe. In DriveSafe, there are 2 components, a hardware module and an Android app on your phone, okay? And so this hardware module is easily plugged into your vehicle, any 1996 or newer vehicle. This simply plugs in under the dash, no tools needed, anybody can do it. And what happens is when you get in the car, the module's gonna talk to your phone, and the module's gonna send vehicle data to your phone, and our application is going to take that vehicle data It's going to look at the speed of the car, and if the car is moving, it's going to lock the phone. If the car is not moving, the phone will be unlocked and it will operate as normal. So what we wanted here was kind of an autonomous solution that when somebody gets in the car, they don't even have to think about it. The car moves, the phone locks, the car stops, the phone unlocks, that's it. And what we wanted was something that was tamper-proof and a parent could control. So with our app, you set a passcode and you can't defeat the system unless you know that passcode. So for this reason, we thought this is perfect for parents. If they want to keep their kids safe out on the road and keep them from Instagramming while they're driving, this seemed to fit the bill.
So we will be going after the teenage market. We'll be targeting the parents. There's almost 4 million, actually there's over 4 million 16 and 17-year-olds licensed drivers. And at our price point of $99, that gives us an addressable market of over 400 million. So it's actually quite a sizable market that we can go after. And our margins are pretty good. They're about 73%. And after we do that, we'd like to target fleets and insurance companies. There's over 260 million registered vehicles on the road today. Our sales strategy will just be direct to consumer. So we'll use Google AdWords, Facebook marketing to target parents of teen drivers. And what we'll do is direct them to our website. They'll pay, it'll be a package deal, so you'll order the product, we'll send the module, and you can download the app, configure it, and you're good to go. What makes this unique is that most of the apps in the App Store and on Google Play they're voluntary. So the person who's using it, they have to download the app, they have to enable it, and while they're driving, they can disable it, which is it's not going to stop a teenager from doing that. Ours is automatic. Once you install it, it starts automatically. They can't disable it while they're driving, and you're good to go. Recently, we just found out there's another company doing exactly what we're doing. They're called Derive, and it's a larger company. They're a cyber automotive company, and they're doing pretty much the same exact thing as we are, but they're not yet to market. So we have an opportunity to jump in there.
So while we were going through this class with Dr. Rubin, we did customer validation, and so we made a list for our version 2, and on that wish list was having the user be able to use apps such as music and navigation while denying access to the rest. Obviously, having a software that's compatible with iOS. Right now it's only Android. And next is manufacturing a hardware module that will that will have this in it that will actually lock into your car so that it makes it more tamper-proof for the kid. So at this stage, DriveSafe isn't asking for investment, although this may change in the future. For completion of our product and initial production runs, we're basically going to bootstrap it. Being mostly a software company with a very little hardware expense, we don't really need any capital for inventory or facilities. Our initial production run is literally going to be out of Brian's garage. So what we are asking for is to engage with advisors in a few key areas. The first is financial. Although we think our numbers are pretty reasonable, we are majoring in computer science and not business. So having an expert work with us in this area would ensure the financial feasibility of our product. The next area would be the marketing of our product. The three of us have not much marketing experience, if any. Although we did pick our beachhead market and solicit feedback from potential customers, we would like an expert to help us determine if we made the right choices here. So thank you for your time, and hopefully we'll be talking to some of you later.
Yeah, so the question was, will the device work only with the phone that it's initially paired to? And the way we have it set up right now is that we wanted it so that only the driver's phone turned off. So we paired that phone to the device. The device could pair with any phone. If you put the app on another phone, then you could have that phone also pair with the device. But how it is right now is we didn't want passengers like getting affected in the car. And one of the weaknesses with some of the other solutions out there that we saw were if you simply have the phone detect speed through its accelerometer in the phone, then when the kids are on a bus or in a train or whatever moving in somebody else's car, their phone's going to turn off, and we didn't want that.
Is there a 911 override?
We'll add that to the list. Yeah, so we've got a list of things that on the final version that, like an iOS version We're going to have it so that navigation is enabled, at least voice prompts from the navigation will be there, and then music will play, and then things like 911 also, yeah.
We've been working on this for like a month, so we only have an MVP. Oh, God.
Is there a chance that car companies would enable new vehicles to have this technology and then, of course, hurt the market for new vehicles for the company?
Yeah, so right now we just focus on parents because we think the value prop is really big for parents. Obviously, they're live with the kids, but we want to go after like fleet and cars after that.
Our target market is teens and parents of teens, mostly parents of teens. And we figure that most teens, 16, 17-year-olds, are going to have pretty old cars that won't have this. So at least our initial market that we're targeting, we don't think that's much of a threat, but certainly if we expand beyond that, yeah.
Can the parent contact the kid via calling? So can they receive phone calls if they need to contact them?
Yeah, so the question is can the parent contact the kid when this device is active? With our initial MVP, right, as it stands right now, no, but that's on the list to add that feature. So, yes?
Hi, when the phone is locked, is it essentially off so the kid isn't going to be hearing beeps and I got a text and I got a this and I got a that? Is all that still happening or is it essentially quiet?
Yeah, when it's locked, you're not getting anything. There's no notifications, no phone calls, no anything.
Can the kid just pull the hardware device out of the car?
So the question was, can the kid pull the hardware device out of the car? And yes, they can, but their parents will get notified.
Okay, one more over here.
Have you already applied for any patents?
So the question is, have we applied for patents, and we have not yet.
All right, now one more question. Back. How can we try it?
So the question is, how can we try it? I guess you could jump in my truck and check it out.
They could download it on GitHub.
GitHub?
All right. Great. Thank you. Hey. Control her. I know, it's possible. All right, thank you very much. Go Beavs, that was great. Okay, our keynote speaker now. John Chang, Executive Director at Young Entrepreneurs Businessweek, is passionate about empowering the next generation of business leaders. YEBW, started in 2006, creates statewide business immersion programs that educate high school students from 30 Oregon counties. So please welcome John to the stage.
So, any Asians in the room? This is gonna just, so you can't raise your hand, man. That doesn't work. I'm glad to be here. I want to start off by sharing with you maybe the most important value proposition. And that value proposition is what time does when you invest it in the right things. In 1971, the value proposition created by Fred Smith ventured and raised $91 million for a company that monetized the value of time, which later became known as FedEx. And that idea was if we could monetize the value of time and somehow create a system where people could somehow know the value of time, would there be a premium on it? If something was really important to them and they needed to get it somewhere, would they pay more for it because time was precious and it was special? And he became known as one of the greatest in venturing a company that would become a billion-dollar company. And I think that idea of time is significant because what it's really saying to people, to us, is this, that what we spend our time in, knowing that it's very small, and it's short, what we spend our time in really ultimately has a long-term impact, right? It needs to have one. If we value it that much, universally it's true. wherever we go, culturally, geographically, every socioeconomic background in this room can value time. So where we spend our time really matters. And I'm coming in a little bit raw because I just lost a good friend who I said goodbye to a few days ago. She just suddenly died in her sleep. You know, great topic for a pub talk, right? But it makes you evaluate time a little bit more. And suddenly the beer nice tastes a little bit better. Getting to know people is a little bit more relational. Getting to understand stories, getting to understand you, hearing what makes people start their inventions and their products, start their companies, comes from a deep part of who they are. And so I have this press where there's this FedEx effect going on in my life, in the lives of hundreds of volunteers who will give their time at YEBW because they value youth and they understand there's not a lot of time, neither for themselves as volunteers and leaders, nor for the small window of time with youth who are trying to figure out what is next for them. And so what we've created is a kind of a mission where we've said we want to generate the next generation of business leaders. And that concept of leader is unique because it's a universal kind of definition, but everyone's got their own maybe subjective definition of it. So we do this with every school. We'll be in 150 schools this year. We'll present to about 5,000 students about business and entrepreneurism. We'll talk about the necessary skill set to be successful in life. But we ask this question, how many of you think you are business leaders? And after 10 years of doing this, we have found, our studies show that only about 0.5% of the students really believe that they could become leaders. There are 180,000 students in the state of Oregon. Now you do the math on that. If we're generous and we bump that up to about 1%, that's about 1,800 students who think they could be entrepreneurial or lead something or generate something or solve a problem. So what's the issue? Why won't they self-identify as leaders? Well, we believe that the greatest educational gap is not just so much curriculum-based. We think it's actually about helping them be inspired by their own lives, because they're not. They don't dream anymore. They've got nothing that they're tackling. And they can't quite see and experience what they're really about until someone creates that momentum for them, gives them a platform, and helps them understand their true potential. And I don't know if it's okay, but let me just ask the question here. How many of you in this room believe you're a leader? And if you think you are, raise your hand. That should be the response in a high school room. That should be the exact response. And typically what happens is you have had an experience that makes you believe that you are one. And someone in your life said you are. Someone said you are. And so you believed it. And some say you're not. But at some point, these students come in and they take surveys and they only rank their confidence a 1 out of 5 in terms of their ability to start something, solve a problem, generate a business, get employed, run a company. By the time they leave YEBW, it's typically a 4 out of 5 for confidence. 90% of them want to come back after a course successive amount of programs. We have 5 programs: Businessweek, Investing Week, Marketing Week, Wealth Management Week, and then Entrepreneur Week, which is our capstone class. And so a big part of this is the time, the unique opportunity to give back to students and youth, high school students, who need to have an experience that affirms to them that they are inspiring people and that they know it, And so what do? What we do is we take curriculum and we make it skilled-based, and then we incubate the skill-based curriculum. That makes sense. We basically say, look, if you can do it here, you can do it anywhere, but you've got to do it. Someone said it was really scary because they had high schoolers who were about ready to get in a car. Well, I know it's a ton of weight. It's probably one of your most expensive assets, and you're saying, okay, go ahead and drive, right? And so there's such things such as driver's ed. So they got to learn how to drive it before they actually drive it. Well, we're like a driver's ed for students. We're a business ed for students, right? You got to get into business to know what it's going to feel like. But what they come out with is this idea that they understand that they're capable of doing more. By the end of it, they have 2 tracks in Businessweek. The first track is this. They have to go through 12 quarters of financial simulation, business simulation. They have to run a company and financially drive it. They don't know any technical terms. They're not supposed to know any technical terms. They just look at a cash flow statement and go, if I have this much cash, and if I debt finance this, though they don't know the word debt finance yet, this affects my income statement and my balance sheet. And they learn how to mock a company, and they create a company. And they have to run through 12 quarters of this. At the end, the deliverable is this. They got to present to a set of investors and judges what they did with their company for 12 quarters. 10 people, 10 students, all from different backgrounds, mocking companies, creating a company, and driving it successfully. The other deliverable at the end of the week, 7 days with the School of Business, is they have to product ideate. And here's the most creative piece for them. They have to solve a problem in the world, or find a solution in a market, something they're passionate about. By the end of the 7 days, something abstract, something conceptual becomes a TAM. The TAM becomes a value proposition. A value proposition becomes a business proposal, and then they have to pitch it to another set of judges. At the end of the week, it climaxes in a trade show. And I love the moment when a judge looks at me and says, I can't imagine. I couldn't have imagined this. 15-year-olds coming up with $1 billion ideas. Can I take this idea? And the answer is no. And I love telling a high school student, you made someone think outside of their box. You were underestimated, and never let someone ever underestimate you again. And that's what they walk away with. And that's the thread. And they're ready to tackle the world. And 45% of our students come back year after year. 2 students that come to my mind, Lewis and Kevin. I only choose these 2 students because they're the most fresh in my mind. 49% of our students are students of color. 45% of them are female, but I'm choosing 2 guys right now because they're the loudest in our program. Lewis comes from a broken home, low-income home. You know when a student has to grow up too fast? He has to grow up too fast. He's probably like 16 but going on 25. But he's brilliant. He's boots on the ground. He's from a rural community. He's been running businesses his whole life because since 10 he's been making money to put food on the table. He's a first-gen kid, meaning he'll be the first to graduate from high school in his family and the first to go to college and graduate from college. And we're dead set on getting him a scholarship, most likely to Oregon State University. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I know, some of you. On the other side of this, we've got Kevin. Kevin comes from a really wealthy home. Great parents. Successful. High pedigree. Kevin is a valedictorian in his school. Good-looking dude. I think he was voted student body of something. Kevin and Lewis are jettisoned into Businessweek, and they have to work together to create a company. One loves country, the other loves R&B. Right? I mean, that's just not a good combination already. I just don't know how that works out. Tuesday, 7-day immersion program, each of them are. We're at the University of Oregon. Kevin comes in, he says, this week is a shitty week. Why the hell am I here? I mean, we tell them to be adults, right? Like, they're supposed to be on a college campus. We make them, we treat them like adults, but he is coming and he is screaming explicitives. Call my parents, I want to get out of here. I want to go home. Like, okay, well, Kevin, whoa. Let's talk about this for a second, buddy. Says, what's the problem? Well, my team is dumb. They're stupid. They don't want to do anything I asked them to do. See, they elect CEOs of these companies. And he's the CEO. Damn it, they don't do anything I want. They don't like my ideas. So I'm thinking, okay, so you want to go home because you're an asshole. That makes sense. CEO, perfect. But then I look Kevin in the eyes, because he's pretty pissed at me, he's not looking at me. I say, hey, Kevin, you're telling me right now you're going to leave because you can't lead a dumb team? That doesn't make any sense, man. You're brilliant, right? But you can't lead this dumb team. Are they really that dumb? Oh, I don't know, maybe not, Mr. Chang. Well, when you get back in there, I'll pair you up with your company advisor. Company advisor spends a week long consulting these companies. Why don't you figure out the empathy piece? And we go through core values, and Microsoft has adopted empathy is one of the highest, creates creativity, inclusion, creates the best solutions. So, okay, Mr. Chang. And he walks off, and then Lewis comes in. Right? Lewis is the kid who's 15, but he's like 25. He's a kid who's grown up too fast, right? But he's shyer. He's quiet. But he's a worker bee. He's an executor. He gets crap done. He's that kid. Like that kid. I want that kid all the time around me. He says, I don't feel very good, Mr. Chang. Why? Stop calling me Mr. Chang. What's the deal? Well, I don't feel very good, John. Mr. Chang. He says, so you want to go home then? Yeah, I want to go home. Well, why do you want to go home for? Well, I don't feel good. Well, why don't you go sleep it off, right? Go to the dorm room. We work 16-hour days. Here's a bottle of water, sleep it off, come back. 3 hours later, I want to go home. I don't feel very good. Well, by this time, I've already called Mom and Dad are like, hell no, I'm not coming to pick him up. You get him for 5 more days. That was the deal. That's what we signed up for. I'm in the Bahamas. He's staying. Okay. So, Lewis, what's the deal? Well, I just don't feel good. And, sometimes you have to get underneath the skin a little bit. And we come to find out that he just doesn't feel like he fits. He doesn't feel like he has anything to offer his team, though he's the most creative. And actually, in that whole group, is the smartest. Even though the group doesn't know GPAs, we do. I said, look, I say the same thing that I said to Kevin. Kevin, I said, Lewis, go back, and because if you leave right now, you're going to regret it for the rest of your life. You're telling everyone that you're not as good as them. You sure you want to go home? Okay, Mr. Chang, I'll go back in. But at the end of the week, they product ideate a mechanical device they called the grip. Sits on the end of a hoe, so to speak, for ag farmers. Because the number one issue for farmers and ranchers is hand injuries. The loss of employment, the insurance, is the loss of what? Profit, money. They TAM this, they product ideate it. They go to 10 farmers. 10 of them order a product that doesn't even exist yet. They have orders for 1,000 of these products. There's no product. They go to pitch this at the end of the week. They're the best of friends. And they're going to come back next year and be a part of Entrepreneur Week to see what they can do at the next level. What point does a young person decide, does a human being decide that they're capable of something more? It's the moment that experience and people come together, and the value of time when you invest in a young person and you say to that young person, you're capable, get back in it and do the work. And they do it. And they believe that their life is inspirational. They believe they're leaders. So here's my ask. First of all, buy me a beer, because I'll need one after this. Asians do drink. And they only tell jokes about themselves when they've had a few. Here's my ask. Give your time to a young person. Give back to 180,000 high school students. Come to YEBW this summer, if you're willing. We're summer intensive because we think school is busy as it is. But give yourself away. Invest your time. Look someone in the eyes. Tell them they're capable. Consult. Give them your story, your background, your skill set. Tell them what they're capable of because you were there once too. That you understood someone said you're not a leader when you were. That you've encountered hurdles. That you've had to overcome things. And here's how you do it. You'll change your life forever. And that ROI is the kind of ROI that you really ultimately want to have when you know time is quite short. And as you do that, if you need something that kind of catalyzes you a little bit, maybe you might consider from one moment your own FedEx effect and how much time you really have. And maybe you hover and spend a little more time thinking about how much time am I going to give to the next generation. And in advance, I want to thank you for even considering it, because here in Oregon, there just aren't enough people who are doing that. Thank you. This is complicated. I have to repeat a question after I've heard the question. All right. Yeah. All right. Sure. No questions. Easy. Yeah. We go through the entire summer, so we start the third week of July, basically the second week of July, and then we go all the way through the end of August. So there are multiple weeks. Businessweek is our flagship week. It's 7 days residential on a campus. We work with the University of Oregon, Oregon State, University of Portland in partnership with their School of Business. And so they're held on campus overnight, and they're week long.
How many kids do you serve?
Right now we have 500 students. We turned 112 students last year away. The reason why I really want to be here tonight is that we had 100 students from Central Oregon participate last year. Indicative of what I think is happening here in Bend, right? Indicative. Very clear growth happening in multiple ways. And I think that's happening and trickling down in a powerful way. So they know there's an opportunity. They hear some of the GDP that's happening around them, though they don't know what that is. And they're recognizing that they're really the next workforce pipeline. And the minute they start dreaming is the minute that talent becomes truly talent here in the Central Oregon area. I want them to see local people saying yeah. So the question was like, how do I get involved? Sorry, I suck at this already. What ages? Yes, high school and college. It's really meant for high school, but we have a fourth year, fifth year leadership program. We intern students because we have found that educationally it's pretty hard for a freshman to get a job, an internship without a lot of skill set. So our fifth year program is the alumni who come back and they act as interns and they give back to the students because they've been there before. It's a big brother, big sisters system.
Are the kids sponsored to go to the program?
So someone asked me this earlier. So first, are some kids sponsored to go? And the answer is yes. 40% of our student base is in the kind of more rural Central Oregon, Eastern Oregon area. 60% comes from the Portland kind of that tri-county area. And so right now we have about 50% of our students are scholarshiped and sponsored right now. Sandy, volunteer. You want to know what it's like? She will tell you. And if she says any weird things about an angry Asian man ranting around the campus of Oregon State or U of P or whatever, just don't believe it. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
I got to connect with adults, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
The question is, when are you coming over to OSU-Cascades?
When are we coming to OSU-Cascades? Very soon. And I mean that. We wanted to do it this year. We just couldn't pull it off. That's really the true answer. We're at capacity, and I know everyone understands that. We started in 2006, and as all startups know, it takes 3 or 4 years to really make a go out of something. And by the time we got to 2010, we moved from 75 students to about 500. This is a full summer. So OSU-Cascades has opened the doors to us, though. And we are very excited about that. OSU is a big partner for us, a very, very large partner for the entrepreneurial aspect. So yeah, it's coming. It's like it should have been here last year kind of thing. Yep, we'll get there. Are there ways to sponsor a child? Yeah, so first they hate it when we call them children. So young adults, youth. Yeah, so just so you know, the heartbreaker for me, and I know everyone who's ever started something understands that at some point you really F up, right? You just mess up. You just didn't get it done. And last year I had to reject, and I don't like to use that word, but that's what they felt like. I had to deny 112 students. 30 of them were from this local area. And so, yeah, you can sponsor a student. I think that's one of the greatest ways of giving a kid a chance at something. I mean, when was the last time you heard a 16-year-old say, I really want to go to a business camp? Holy shit. I've never heard that until YEBW. So, yeah, so you can go online, you can donate that way, or you can come see me, and we can either name the scholarship, or we can work with chambers, or however you'd like to do that. But we do not have a shortage on students who are seeking financial aid. Right now we have 60 in the financial aid queue.
Are some of your limitations that you don't have enough spots, or is it really that you don't have the funding for that student?
Yeah, so the question is the limitation spots or is it funding? And the answer is yes. Yeah. So how far in advance do I have to plan to get the kids in there? So last year, when we said no to 112, they were signed up. So they're just sitting there waiting for a phone call. So the reality is sponsoring kid creates a spot, and that allows the student to really experience something that they're excited about. I mean, I just cannot remember the last time education and business and students, high school students, wanted the same thing. It's a really unique confluence of energies, I've said to a lot of people. So that's the answer is yes. Yeah, and kind of like yesterday we could have used the scholarships. Oh, question. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So our week is set up this way that, well, they do those 2 tracks I shared. A lot of it is mentoring. And so during the week, they have kind of a professional planning kind of program where during the week, they have to put on ties, jackets and suits and look professional. They have to know how to look you in the eye and shake a hand. We do an etiquette dinner, how to sit and actually listen to somebody while eat. Pretty tough. Well, also try to get a business card next to you. Pretty difficult. And what do I do with the small fork versus the big fork? So there are multiple ways to get involved. It's not about the size of the company. We had 110 companies represented last year. 215 volunteers came through our program. And so that comes from small business to educator to, if you're a media specialist, well, it's really about the students and you wanting to pour into them. So if you don't want to give a week long, you can come out for a day and judge the presentations, or you can come out for a day and do mock interviews. Wednesdays are our professional development day where they basically get their first LinkedIn account and they start building their resume. And they learn the value of who you know matters.
Okay, one more.
Question?
Is it in-state only?
Is it in-state only? No. So, no. Good question. We reach, right now, 31 counties. That's the base of our student population, but participation. But right now, kids from about 10 states are coming in. And they love Oregon. I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. Someone said, have you heard about Bend before? I was like, yeah, I've heard about Bend. How do you know about Bend? I hear they got great beer there. I was like, how old are you, man? Hey, thanks a lot for the time. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, John. You don't have to buy, no one has to buy you a beer because you get this, so.
I don't think I do this much right now.
Yeah, and you get that for free.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You bet. That was awesome. Thank you, John. That was really, really good. We love what you're doing. So I just saved anyone from having to buy John a beer because he gets to fill that free, right? So you're welcome. All right. Thanks, everybody, for coming. Just a couple of reminders. Edco's annual lunch on February 8th. Alan Bolio from New Hampshire is going to be here. He is funny. He's been correct, and I think you'll love him. So please come to that luncheon. About 700 people are going to be there, so you'll want to be there too. And then we'll be back here on February 22nd for a tech panel discussion. And if you see Julie, call Edco. Let them know that she's alive and she's out there somewhere, all right? She'll probably be here at that time. And thanks for coming, and get out in the snow. Good night.